like to grant you access for later. Okay, is everybody getting that typed in? No, you're not, are you? No.
tinyurl.com/staffpersons2-3. Thank you. That's right. We're kind of hitting the doldrums of the afternoon. Get yourself some sugar, get yourself some caffeine, get yourself a good dose of statistics, folks.
Okay, you all good there? No?
That's right.
I know, request access.
Request access.
It is access tonight, so you gotta request access so I can grant you access.
Yeah. That's all right. We discovered this during the presentation last time. We went, oh.
Can't you just make it open to anybody who has
I did that last night and you didn't get in.
Person.
You just request access and then she's gonna give you. Huh?
Weird.
You just request access. Did you get in? You guys, after you type this in, then be
Is it
sure to
this?
request access.
Last three, but
Yeah, no, that is Brooke will start
I
getting
have it
it.
in the stream folder, and so maybe
Hey,
it's
Brooke.
access to the people that are in there.
What? Theirs are just waiting for you. They're
Okay, so that's fine. You do that, and then I can approve it, so we can.
Oh, so they don't,
Your
but their
request, you can
screens are done. That's
Yeah,
okay.
you can be done.
They
with
can be
that.
off of that screen. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Okay, well, let's get started then. Okay. First of all, well, let's go through this first. Okay. So for part of our mid-year workshop, obviously, you know that you're going to rotate through all the groups, and we are the statistics and inference group. One of the things that we've tried to do is we've gone through with our online module and then the first launch workshop and this launch workshop is to try and cover as many of the standards as we can. So hopefully you've got a pretty good idea when you go back to those standards for your classroom that you've got some activities and things to talk about. Our high school design team is Jordan Graves. And I am Sherry Dahl, and that's Brooke Taylor back there. And so we are the three teachers. Brooke is, teaches at the high school in Billings. Jordan is Reed Point, let me tell you. And I am in Great Falls at the high school.
Today, that's the one.
Okay, so we're going to start with using some simulations and statistics. And one of the things that I have found, especially if you're trying to get some of the statistics that you want to into the lower levels, I think you're going to find that simulations is something that is really nice. It works well, and they kind of can figure out some things on their own. They know that it's not proof. They know it isn't proof, but they know it isn't theoretical. But you want them just to take a look, okay? I thought we should start with some of the standards that deal with, these are standards out of inference and conclusion, so SIC, and these are some of the places where this fits in. Understand statistics as a process for making inferences, so we're going to do the simulations and we're going to make inferences off our simulations and the data that we gather, okay? Those inferences are going to be about our population parameters. With my older kids, I used to talk about the difference between parameters and statistics. With younger kids, we just talk more about samples and the mean of the sample and that type of thing. And it's based on random sample from the population, so our simulations will simulate the random. Number two, decide if a specified model is consistent with results from given data generating process, and our data generating process will be simulated. Use data from a randomized experiment to compare two treatments. Use simulations to decide which differences between parameters are significant. Okay? We are not going to get into tests of significance, but I am going to show you what type that you can use for tests of significance if you're teaching that to but I think this comes up on the website. Okay, so we're going to get started. You all have 2 decks of cards on your table. So you have 1 deck to half the table, and you keep 1 deck for your half of the table. You want one of the red suits and one of the black suits. I don't care if it's hearts or diamonds, that doesn't matter. I don't care if it's clubs or spades, but divide your deck into hearts and clubs, or hearts and spades. Okay? but just make sure that you have one set of red and one set of black.
I have hearts and clubs that I want you guys. Oh, yeah, okay, so maybe it is.
How you doing? I read. My Viking heritage. Oh, jeez. That's awesome. I think I got a good shot of me.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in on that cup.
Glad I didn't curse.
You need either hearts or diamonds. It doesn't matter. Just get all your hearts or all your diamonds. And then get all your clubs or all your spades. Just one of each. One red, one diamond. 13 of each. Okay,
So we're in groups. We're in groups?
you have 2 decks of cards. So half your table should have one deck, half your table should have the other deck. So 3 of you are going to use one deck of cards. The other 3 are going to use the other deck of cards.
So like Kim and I have hearts and clubs.
3 of you. Do you guys have hearts and clubs out of your?
Yeah.
Yes, you're good.
So we're good, okay.
Uh-huh.
So you're with us and we have hearts and clubs.
Yeah, you're going to have 3. So then you. Okay, let's get going. So the question is, here's my scenario, and did they discriminate? So this is the scenario I'm going to present to you. You have an airline. They train 25 pilots, so they take 25 of their best pilots and they say, okay, we're going to train you to be captains. Out of those 25 pilots that they're training, 15 are male and 10 are female. Okay? Only 8 captain positions end up open. So when they started the training, they thought they were going to put all 25 of these people into captain positions, but it didn't work out that way. Due to budget cuts, whatever, only 8 of them. All the candidates are equally qualified. My kids go ballistic over that. They're like, there's no way you can have 25 people and they're all equally qualified. I said, well, just humor me. And it's okay. We're just going to do it this way. Otherwise, the activity totally isn't going to work. Okay. So we are truly going to believe that all 25 people were trained and they're all awesome. And then, unfortunately, the bad news comes. Only 8 of you are going to go on. Only 8 of you get the big bucks for being the captain. So the airline randomly selects 8. And the activity that I originally read on this, they literally said they put the 8 names on a piece of paper and they put them in a hat. And my kids are like, yeah. United Airlines, yep, they put your name on a piece of paper and they put it in a hat and they start drawing you out. And I'm like, I know, it's not very realistic. But they will randomly select these. We're going to use a different type of random than they did with their little pieces of paper. And when they selected these 8 captains, they chose 5 females and 3 males. So when they randomly selected 8 people from that group of 25, 5 were female and 3 were male. And guess what? It took about a day, and those males said, this was not random. There is no way this was random. If there were 15 of us and you only took 3 of us and there were only 10 of them, you took, no. You wanted more females for your captain position. Okay, so we need to find out, should we file that lawsuit or not? Okay? So, in front of you, you have your deck sorted out. I want you with your red cards, take 1 or ace through 10. With your red cards, take ace through 10. So put your jack, your queen, and your king aside. Okay, those are your 10 females. Those are your 10 females, okay? Now the males we have a little bit of a problem with. We only have 13 black cards, right? And we need 15 black cards to represent the men. So if you want to, you could take, if you've got clubs, take 2 of the spades and add to it, okay? If you want to, you can take the king and queen of the red and put it in there if that's not going to confuse you. My kids like to usually keep the male cards all black, so they'll use all the spades and 2 clubs. Okay? Okay, so we have our pile of 25 future captains. You are going to shuffle them really good. Shuffle them really good.
All in together.
Okay, you are each in your groups, so each deck of cards, so 1, 2, you guys have 2 going here. Okay, you're each going to do 5 simulations. You're each going to do 5. And what constitutes a simulation is this: you take your 25 cards, you shuffle them really good, and you deal out 8 of them. The red cards are females, the black cards are males. Okay? And so you write down how many females were in that group. And then do it 4 more times. Okay? And keep track each time how many females were chosen out of the 8. Okay? So deal out 8, count the number of red cards, write it down. Deal out 8, count the number of red cards, write it down.
I'm just gonna wait till we get all 8.
Just 8, because we're only 8 gets to be captain out of the 25.
She says stop, I think.
5 total. 5 total. We're all late now. It's hard to shuffle. Everybody's like, get me out of here.
I need to take a walk outside.
Well, we wouldn't know if it's be able to 5.
5 Oh, 5 and 3. 5 males, 3 females. Okay.
All right.
Seriously. Okay, do you have your 5 trials done? No, oh my gosh.
One more. We have 2.
Oh, team, come on. Yeah, the reason I keep telling people to shuffle is there's lots of times people like I did. My time in the black glove, they don't shuffle really well. It really messes up their data.
Okay, I can't even shuffle. It's the same way. I'm sure you get it. One more time.
It's all like, okay, we're just going to stop there. If you don't have 5 trials, don't worry about it, but we need to keep moving here today. So, first of all, I want to know what could happen. What is the least number of females that we could have? 0. Yeah. If there are 15 males and we're going to choose 8, we could end up with 8 males, couldn't we? Okay, and what's the most number of females we can have? 8, right? Because we have 10 to choose from. Okay, so up here are color markers, and I want you to come up, and if in your first trial, if you had 5 females, you're going to, whoopsie, don't trip on the part. You're going to put, we're going to do a dot plot, so you're going to put a dot right here. If your next trial you had 2, etc. So everybody come up and put all the trials that you did into the dot plot. Pardon? Females, just females.
So we should put 5 dots on here.
Did you have 5?
I had 5 trials.
You had 5 trials and they were all had 5 females?
Yes, 5 trials, 5 dots.
Females per trial. So you dealt out 8 cards. 1 dot per trial.
You got it. Go all 5.
Yes, you record all 5.
3 5s.
Yeah. You record all 5 of your trials up here. So you're going to put 5 dots up here.
Our son and his wife and baby just moved to their mother.
Yeah, you're right. 5 dots.
Access to it and ask me to access. Just went out. No, I never get it. I mean, it's done in Monday. So I'm able to see my grandson.
No, you're fine.
6
Yeah, and
months
that's only
now.
for person to create the change the settings and everything.
Yeah, I'm really like,
Oh my God, it's safe.
So I'll list all my questions today. We're done with that.
where'd you get your bus from? Give it to us. So what did you get on this one? Right. See, I didn't do the truth table. I should have done the truth table. But it's not condition. It's not contra positive and it's not contra position. It's not invalid because you have one. See, I should have done that. I should have done a truth table on this. Because it's
Okay, so I think we have about 40 data points up here. So here we go. Here's our dot plot, our simulation. We did about 40 simulations. What do you think? Should the male pilot sue on discrimination? How many yeses? How many no's? Okay. So why do you think that? Is it possible to have 5 females out of the 8 be chosen? It is. Is it likely? No, it isn't. But the question is, could it happen? And we find out that we have, I don't know if you guys can see these, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the 4. 8 out of the 4.
wow, that's
Okay? So that's 1 out of 5. Okay? So that means 20% of the time, yeah, could have happened.
I mean, I can see the 8, but if we're just talking about 5 females and 3 males, do we count the people that, the 6 and 2?
Oh, up here?
Yeah.
We
Because
usually,
it's
when my
pretty
kids
easy.
talk about it, they will count those because they're saying, well, you could even have more than 5. So if you could even have more than 5, even more reason why you should be able to say, hey, I don't think this is fair.
Depends which warrior you are, Ben.
And I will also say too that a lot of times in my classes they'll go, no, 3. That's all we should expect is 3. And so then you really have to open up the conversation with them about, so just because this was 3, does that mean the others can't happen? And then they're like, oh, yeah, they can.
It's kind of odd because our very first trial was 5.
Was it?
Yeah, the very first one.
We had a couple of people in the last group too, that the very first one was 5. Yeah. Okay, so this is an example of a simulation. But this isn't the only way to do this. How else could we do this simulation? You have dice, you have calculators, you have, oh, I didn't give you your random digit charts. I'll give you your random digit charts. Talk at your tables a little bit about how you can simulate this. Can you simulate it with dice or no? Okay. Could you simulate it on your calculator? Some of you haven't done simulations on your calculator, then the answer is no, because you haven't done that. Okay. Is there anything else you can think of, even something that I didn't put on your table, that you could simulate this? And I'll get your random digits.
Is that how we use random all the same number, and then one of two hit enter, and do like all the same thing algorithm. And it's so we're definitely not all random, because they're all getting the same number.
Okay. Any ideas? Any ways you can think of? Yeah.
Well, if we use just one dice,
Uh-huh.
it's like 1 and 2 represent LQ women and 3 and 6 represent male.
Okay? So you're saying since 10 out of 15, or I'm sorry, 10 out of 25 are women, that would be 2/5. Okay? And then 15 out of 25, that's 3/5. So you use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you do with 6?
Yeah, re-roll.
Yeah, you just re-roll. You just ignore it, don't you? Okay, because your probability is 1 in 6 every time you roll that die. So absolutely, you could use dice. Anything else?
Or you can use the dice odds of evens, you roll 8 dice. Odds are female, evens male.
Oh, okay. But that doesn't give you your probability out of being 10 female and 15 male. Yeah. But I still read it. Okay. How about your calculators? Do any of you use calculators and do that with the simulations? I like when the kids immediately want to go to the calculator. And the reason I like that is because there's a really important lesson to be learned when we go straight to the calculator. So I'm going to click on my calculator over here. Well, maybe I am. Oh, no? How do I get it on there without all the mouse? Oh. Perfect. Thanks. We'll have to move it back out of there too. Okay, so what we do is this. There is a command on the calculator called random integer. Okay? So we're going to hit math. And then from the math menu, you go to the probability. And under probability, there are actually a couple of these rands that you can use to simulate this, but we're just going to use random integer. And so we're going to choose number 5. And what random integer does is whatever you specify for your numbers, those are the only numbers it gives you. Okay? So since there are 25 pilots, we're going to go 1, 25. Okay? So let's let 1 through 15 be our male pilots who went through the training. And let's let 11 through 25 be our female pilots. Okay? Now, you have your choice right now. You can go 8, and it will give you all 8. Okay? Or you can just leave it the way it is, and you can just hit them one at a time until you get 8. So let's just hit them one at a time, and let's see if you can figure out what the mistake some kids make is and how you rectify that mistake. Okay? So we have 5 male, 18 female, 8 male, 3 male, 6 male, 17 female. So we're 4 and 2 right now. 13 and 6. So the other 2 are males. Now, what could go wrong with this? Lisa?
Sometimes the random generators aren't seeded, and so everybody will get the exact same results.
Okay. Now, and I do that on purpose on my tests. I make every kid put in a seed value. I give them a number, I tell them to store it in rand, and then when they do their simulations on my test, they all end up with the same numbers, so it's much easier to grade. Okay? So if any of you have the same seed value right now, your random numbers could end up exactly the same, which isn't very random.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I ran into that in my classroom.
Mm-hmm. How to set them the same?
Or to change. We were all looking for random numbers, and we all got the same numbers, and we felt that our calculators
Really?
were.
Okay, this is the way you get the same number. Okay? You just choose any number you want to. 256. It doesn't matter what number you choose. Then you hit your store button over here. And then you go to math, probability again, but you choose the very first one, which is just RAND. And then you hit enter. Now, if we all do this command, again, if we do rand int 1, 25, we should all get the exact same numbers.
Did you say to pick any number?
You get to pick any number you want to, but all the kids have to put the same number in. So on my test, it will say, use 342 store rand, or use 5,680 store rand, and then everybody gets the same number. Yeah. They have to make sure that they don't do much in between. Once you store it, you better do your rand int right then. Because sometimes if you do other things, it messes up your seed. Okay? So now if I start hitting enter, and you do, we should all have 22, 3, 18, 4, 20. Okay? We should all be getting the same numbers. So on a test, that's awesome. But any other time, you would never want that test.
So, what, I teach stats, and a lot of times the kids come in, it's the first time they've ever used the random generators. And so I tell them when we get started to do rand and put in their own, like, last 4 digits of their phone number. So they are all different to begin with. But it's usually the first time in stats when we're generating.
Seems like we had seeded our calculators for something else. And maybe we
Oh,
seeded
yeah,
the same.
and then it would, and then you didn't do anything in between those.
Well,
One thing that I notice sometimes messes it up is if you graph and trace. That sometimes will somehow reduce the calculation. So let's take a look here again. I did a bunch so that we wouldn't end up with the same numbers. What could possibly go wrong? When you look at doing 8 numbers, yeah,
Did you ever have the possibility where the same person is picked twice?
exactly. So if I'm the number 3 male and I come up and then along about the 7th one I come up again, you can't, he's not Captain Squared. He doesn't get double pay. You need 8 different captains, okay? So this is something that I think is kind of fun to do with the kids, and it just kind of gets them into the calculator a little bit. You can, if you want to, you can go rand in 1 through 25 and put your 8 in there. Go ahead and say, I'm only going to do 8, okay? And then you can hit your store button, just like we did before, and then second 1. So what that's going to do is that's going to take your 8 numbers, 1 through 25, it's going to store them in list 1. Okay, so go ahead and hit enter.
Can you run through that? I'm sorry.
You bet, absolutely. You go rand in, 1 comma 25 comma 8. Then the store button is right. I don't think my calculator is
Inference.
Right above on.
yeah, right there. Oh, whoops. Right there. Okay. So there's your store button. And then you go second 1. Because if you go second command 1, you get list 1. And that's your stat list. Okay. Store button is to the left of the 1 and the 4. Okay. Now, these are your numbers. These are your 8 numbers. And they're exactly what we were afraid of happened. We have 2 11s. We have 2 11s. So we're going to have to generate another number, okay? But there's kind of a cool way to figure out if you have duplicates, and we'll get to that in just a minute.
If you have those newer edition of the spaghetti doors, they have a no repeats.
Okay.
We're going to do all 25.
No, yeah, you can. Okay. Yeah.
so how come we all, a few minutes ago, put the same seed in, and now we're getting
Depends.
different?
It depends on how many times you hit enter. So while you guys were visiting, I hit enter about 30 times here, and then I started in, and that's why mine are
So
different.
if I hit enter
A
a
whole
bunch
bunch
of
of
times, I
times.
should come up with the one letter.
That's why they cannot make a mistake when they do their simulations. They have to begin their seed again and start over. Okay, so now what you can do to find your duplicates very easily, you go to stat and you sort in ascending order. And you want to sort list 1 the same way we got list 1 before, second 1. And if you hit enter now, and then you hit your stat button, and then your edit button, there are your 8 numbers. And so we got 11 twice, so we're gonna have to choose another one, okay? And we got, that's the only one, it's just 11. So then you would need to choose another value. Now my kids got really good at it, and they said, yeah, we're just gonna choose 12 values. And if they repeat, I'm just gonna take the next one down, the next one down, the next one down, okay? So this is kind of a nice way to do with technology, what we did with the cards. Not everybody has 12 decks of cards in their room or something like that. Sometimes my groups have to be pretty big because of how few cards I have. And the other thing I like too is if you absolutely prescribe all the way through how to do it with the cards, and then you open it up to them, how else could we do it? They'll say things like put their names on a piece of paper and put them in a hat. I use little discs like this a lot. So I keep all my old containers, and I set up all sorts of activities using colored discs, and then I label them on the top. So this is my chapter 7 chip activity, And all the directions for the kids are on the top. And so every year I just take it out again, and right when the bell rings, I hand it to them. I usually explain the day before what they need to do. They come in, I hand it to them. They can read announcements, they can do whatever they want, and they have their data collected within about 5 minutes, okay? So they would say chips, they would say put beads. I mean, sometimes we do stuff with beads, so they kind of have a lot of references to come from. But once they learn this calculator thing, they really like it, and they get really good at sorting and in ascending order and deciding, oh, 8 isn't good, we should do extras and that type of thing. And then they just do simulation after simulation.
Try something real quick. Can you scroll up to your L1 at the very top there? And I think it'll allow you to just hit delete and clear that out.
Yeah.
And you can do your math.
Oh, it's clear, I think, is what you want, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And then you can do what you just did with math.
Yeah, you can
Random
go
number,
into your
1,25.
Right, so just clear it out and then start again. Yeah, and do it right up on top there. Yeah.
Type it in the bottom there.
Oh, I gotta go again. There we go. Yeah, uh-oh. I got a syntax error. Oh, because I don't want store list one.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you can get your calculator to go through this stuff, okay? Okay, so looks like our guys maybe have a reason to thank you very much. So it looks like maybe you guys have a reason to state their case, okay? And certainly find out what's going on, okay? Okay, so the next thing is this. I want to have a girl. I just want a little girl. That's all there is to it. So I am going to continue to have children until I get my girl. And the minute I get my girl, I'm stopping. Okay? I don't care if I have 12 boys and the 13th is a girl. I'm going to 13. Okay? Now, we want to know, on the average then, how many children would we expect to have in a family? So if somebody came up to us then and said, okay, I'm just like you, I want to have a girl, but am I going to have 6 kids or 8 kids? And we can say, well, it would be most likely that you would have X number of kids in your family. Okay? So, how would we simulate this with cards, with dice, with random digits, with random digit charts, with technology? How could we simulate having children and deciding when the girl? Pardon? Toss a coin, heads and tails. Decide which is girls, which is boys, and toss a coin until you get your girl. That's trial 1. Do it again, trial 2. Do it again, trial 3. Okay? Odds and even on a die. Yeah. So decide which one is girls. Let's say even is girls. Then you roll the die until you get an even number. But you have to count. You have to say, oh, that took me 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then you're going to write that down. Okay? You can use your calculators. You can use your cards. You can use whatever you want in the same groups that you were in last time. Let's do 5. Let's do 5 and find out how many kids you would have to have a girl. Do it again. Do it again. Do it 5 times. And you may use cards. You can use your calculators. You can use your dice. You can use whatever you would like.
So we got where you're going.
Wow, 5 runs of this. Start.
Which one did you say?
Remember, if you get a girl first, that's a family of 1. That's a 1. Don't put a 0 if you get a girl first. Put 1.
Okay, so do you have your loaded dice here again or what?
No.
These are fair as far as we know.
And are those girls?
Yep. Every time.
3.
Wow.
This is genius.
It might be and then change that to 9.
I just want to see how you do it.
Yes, 5 cents. 5. You guys have your trials done? Okay. So again, here we go. Oh dear. Go for it. Come out there. Okay. What is the smallest family you could have? One. Okay. So you could have a girl right off the bat. Okay. How far should we go?
Till the mother dies.
Till the mother dies because she had too many kids. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I usually put an eye out here because by then they're like, oh. Okay. Now you guys, I made a mistake over here and we didn't label our graph. Okay. So over here we're gonna do it right. And this is the number of children in a family before or until we get a girl. Sorry about that.
Which is.
Okay. Now I am going to put up here I want to go. But certainly with other data, we would have something a little bit more profound up there. Okay, so once again, come on up, put your 5 trials up there. How big are your families?
Oh, yeah.
What?
2.
That is not correct.
It's not right because if you have a boy and a boy.
No. Just like,
So the first child No, it's not. But so that is like your children. No, but I mean, a fourth of a chance. That can't be right, is it? That doesn't make sense because like more children can have
Okay, usually, and this is funny because the last group had this too. We usually get the peak over just a little bit. We usually, it's just not that common that that many would be a girl right off the bat. Okay, and so usually it goes a little bit further over, but now you could say, okay, George, he's got a boy. I don't know what he did wrong. He should have had a girl. Okay, so probably, I mean, he's got the next shot. Okay, Brooke has 2 girls. Okay, so she had that girl right off the bat. So just kind of some interesting information there. And then the next thing that we go to with probability is things like type of blood and stuff like that. So then we start looking at those types of simulations. And a lot of these come out of my statistics book. I love my stats book. It has great activities. Okay, so this is beyond kind of the scope of this workshop and even beyond some of the Common Core things. But for those of you who teach statistics, there are some great websites out there with some really fun stuff. So, I gotta do it this way, don't I? So I'm gonna go down here. There we go. Yeah, and click Reese's Pieces. We're going to do the Reese's Pieces. So we can set, in many of these programs, we can set what we want. So we're going to go up to probability of orange, and we're going to put 0.2. So we want 20% of the whole thing of Reese's Pieces are orange. We can choose our sample size. We're going to leave it at 25. We can decide how many samples. I'm just going to do 1 right now. And so we're going to draw our sample. And nice, cute little deal. Kids love it at first. You do it about 5 times. And then we move on from there. Okay, click again. And so what we have down here is we have what's happening with our orange. So this time we had, how many orange did we have? 4. Okay, so we've got a dot at 4 before we had a dot at 6. Well, after a while, they're like, we don't want the number of orange. We want the proportion of orange. So you go up here and you can click proportion instead of number. And depending on, what your class level is and stuff like that, we depend on which one you want it. But it automatically changes those 2 trials that you did right there. So now we're just going to jump way ahead. First of all, we hide the candy machine so we do not have to look at that thing anymore. And then we also click off our animate. And that makes it go a lot faster. And now we're going to put in 100 samples. And you would think it would take forever, but we're going to draw our samples. And absolutely not. It happens almost instantaneously. So this is the percent of orange that we got. We had one that did not have any orange. We had one that was 40% orange. And all of a sudden they start looking and they go, wait, this is 0.16, this is 0.24. We're really close to 20% here. So we must start to understand at that point that when we look at sampling distribution, really the mean of the p-hats is really a good indicator. Okay, it really is. And we can change the 0.2 to 0.7 or 0.5 or whatever you want. We can make our samples bigger. We can take 1,000 samples if we want to. It goes very fast. You can reset it down at the bottom, start over again. But really a nice program, and I think this one is at Rice University. Okay? And you saw all the different ones they had up there. They had, if you click on the Rossman Chance one, there's all the different ones they have. Okay? The next slide, so we need to go back to the screen. First I want to just go to the slide first. Yeah, no, that's okay. Let me go over it. Okay, so another thing that we do is we test a claim, which, that's pretty high level statistics. That's not in the Common Core, but just for some of you, just some other sampling ideas. Once you get tired of rolling dice and taking cards and flipping coins and stuff like this is what the kids really will gravitate to. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to W.H. Freeman. That's my textbook. Mine is the 4th edition, so that's why it says the Practice of Statistics, TPS 4E. And on this one, it's our little basketball player. Okay? And so we are going to take a look here. There we go. Thanks. And what we're going to say is this. We have a basketball player, and he says he can make 80% of his free throws. Okay? And maybe we believe him, maybe we don't. Okay? So let's have him shoot some free throws. Would that maybe convince us? So let's put 10 up there in the number of shots. And of course, he shoots. Okay? And we watch what's happening, and then I say to the kids, what do you think? Do you think he really does shoot 80%? And usually they'll go, no, he didn't shoot 80% even once. He didn't even hit 80% out of those 10 shots. So then we go, usually they'll say, we need more. So let's put up 50 up there. And so now we're going to have 60 shots total. And so away he goes. And as we know with probability, the further we go, the more it levels out. Pretty soon he does start shooting faster.
Did I hear he always misses to the same side?
He's the program plot. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now we look at this, and now, what do you think? Does he shoot 80%? Only in his dreams. Yeah, only in his dreams. That's exactly right. So now what's built into this is what the true proportion was. So what those shots actually came off of. So click Show True Probability, and it's this green line. Now, isn't this interesting? This is actually what he does shoot, and yet all of the shots said that he shot more than that. So then I'll say to the kids, well, why? Why shouldn't he be down there on that green line? And what you find is you need more shots. And
But
if you guys
eventually approach it.
it does, yeah. And if you've ever looked at like flipping a coin, And there are some people who actually, there was a POW once who flipped a coin like 10,000 sometimes. It's kind of a famous thing that they write up in stat books. And they talk about how many times you really have to flip a coin or roll a die to actually get it to settle out. And this one is not. I mean, this one really is not settling into the proportion that it is. And can that happen? Yeah, it really can. So let's do a different, let's reset it. Or new shooter, I'm sorry. And just do 50, that's all. And so we're going to let him shoot 50 again. And we're watching it this time, and it's still down below there. The one thing you cannot change is the 80%. You can't change it. Okay, that doesn't change. And it's kind of good for the kids to watch this and see that it jumps around a lot in the beginning, but not as much toward the end. And then, let's see, finishes will show the true probability. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So now do we see that we're actually kind of settling down? And only with 86 shots right now. And so we're a lot closer to that line than we were the last time. So there are all sorts of programs out there that you can do these things with that are really cool for the kids. And most of them you can speed up a little bit faster than this, just like the one that we just did. Okay?
Is that just randomly generating?
What I tell my kids is this. It is taking this big pool of chips. And in this case, what is my p-value? 40%. 40% of the chips are red and 60% are blue. Okay? And then what they're doing is they're pulling a chip out. If it's red, they made it. If it's blue, they didn't. So it's like this gigantic population that is really in that 40-60 proportion, and they're pulling out of there. And so that's what's happening as it says. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So in the end, we have at the end with the references are the names of everything we use, and this book, The Practice of Statistics, is on there. Okay. And I don't know if any of you have ever gone to a workshop by Darren Starnes. He's one of the authors on it. He's amazing. He is amazing. Yeah. And Yates is on there too. Yates was one of the first high school teachers who really took stats to a really high level in his high school in Nebraska years ago. So, and both of those guys are on the AP board. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so you learned a lot of skills. You got a lot of things that you know how to do. So we're going to put you to the test now and see when you know to use which skills. Or what you don't know. Or wait, no, you're good.
Did you know T-Mobile's LTE coverage? Think again. Our new extended range LTE signal reaches twice as far and is 4 times better in buildings. See for yourself at T-Mobile.com/coverage.
I'm here with Super Bowl champion Peyton Manning and NBA Hall of Famer Magic Johnson right here. They are about to face off in a game of egg Russian roulette. Now here's how it works. In my hand, I have a dozen eggs. 8 of them have been hard-boiled. 4 of them are still raw. You two will take turns selecting one egg at a time and smashing it on the top of your head. You won't know which eggs are raw and which are hard-boiled. Once you choose an egg, you must smash that egg on your head. No putbacks. First one to smash 2 raw eggs on their head loses. Peyton, since you're the champion. Once you go first, choose your first egg.
All right. So at this point, what kind of questions do you have? Why would you willingly do that?
They have, it's hard to tell, but they put sweatshirts on over the top, black sweatshirts on.
Why would you let people smash you into the ground? I don't know. Adrenaline junkies. What else?
Doesn't matter who goes first.
Doesn't matter who goes first. That's why they don't allow you to put it back. Nope, but that's...
Do they allow you to spin it before they smash it on the
Nope. Yep. You can probably tell if it is or not. It's like, yeah.
I didn't take it out, so.
What else? Can you tell if an egg is hard-boiled? Yeah, you spin it, right? You want to do that? Okay, yeah, hard-boiled eggs are solid. The other ones will keep gyrating. What else? Mathematical questions you have? 4 raw eggs, 8 hard-boiled.
How lucky do you feel?
How lucky do you feel? Good.
Should you drink before you do that?
Should you drink before you do? So,
Kool-Aid.
you're right. Yes. The do we have
Eggs.
the eggs? Do we have the eggs?
Oh, no, no.
Okay. The morning group has challenged you. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. We have
Oh, no,
We
that's
have
right.
4 raw eggs and 8 hard-boiled eggs. Yeah. They want some of you. They also have a lot more questions than this. What other questions do you have? He's got 4 raw eggs and 8 hard-boiled eggs. What kind of mathematical questions can we ask?
What's the probability of
What's-
getting 2 raw eggs in a row?
2 raw eggs in a row.
Good one.
Good. Keep going.
What's the probability that the first one is raw?
First one's raw.
Probability I'm not lucky.
Probability I will lose.
We'll find out soon. I think he just volunteered.
That's right.
What if I already said this?
Or the opposite, that's the probability of not getting a raw egg.
What's the probability of not getting a raw egg? The first 3 are raw.
What's the probability of like one person getting all 4?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Zero.
If that's all 4, do you feel lucky?
Oh,
Yeah, it's like you kept it going.
Ah.
So after they got the 2, if they kept it going, what?
yeah, we could ask that. The game would be over. Yes.
I'm trying to frame, of the 12 positions the eggs are in, which would be the best position to choose from?
Ah, good.
Closest, furthest.
Where should
Like,
I?
yeah, do you choose the closest one?
Like which spot are people most likely to choose?
Oh,
Oh, there we
That's a good one too.
that's a,
Psychologically.
yeah, I was gonna say, that's a psychic
Where do you pull
experiment.
your eggs from? You make breakfast.
Yes, good. That's the Princess Bride problem this morning. Somebody's like, do you take the ones closest to you, the ones furthest away? And I was like, oh, save me. All right. Cool. Yeah. Good. Another one, like, how likely is it you make it out of your clean? Like, I mean, somebody's gonna lose, so maybe you got a chance of not smashing any eggs on yourself. Like, all right. So we got all these. I mean, there's great mathematical questions. Some of them are easy. Some of them are hard. I think this gives access to all students. All of you can access. You can see this video. You go, yeah, I get it. You can ask questions. What's the probability the first one I get is wrong? That's a question we can answer pretty quick. That's a third. Yeah. But it gives low entry point, high ceiling. There are some questions here that are really tough, which is awesome. So the one we're going to focus on right now is, does it matter who goes first? Does it matter who goes first? And I'm going to, this sheet is coming out. It's a problem-solving framework. It's available online. It's a guy named Robert Kaplinski has taken. He's one of the big guys on the math Twitter blogosphere. I got to take a workshop for him. And he's big into 3-act math. And he adopted this from a guy named Kraft who does emergent math, if you're ever been to emergent math. So, but this is kind of the process you might go through as you attack a problem like this. So, the very first thing you have to do, and the very first thing you make your students do, is decide. Does it matter who goes first? Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? Or you don't think it matters? So make a decision. Think about it. 30 seconds. Do I want to go first? Do I want to go second? Doesn't matter.
You're not sitting there and
Not sitting there in suspense. Just go get it.
Have one for
first.
yes.
The second thing you have to do is after you make a prediction, you must make them write it down. And the third thing you really should do is make them do it by themselves. Because as soon as the first person throws out this thing, our kids will follow. So, make your prediction, write it down, and then let them share with each other after everyone's written it down. But until they do that, if you're just kind of on the fence, you're going to wait till to see what the first person who raises their hand says. And so you force them to do it. And this creates buy-in. You probably heard about this morning, right? They talk about that in the other... You get the buy-in because you have to engage it. Okay, so, next. Okay. What information do you need to get this started? To answer this question. What information do you need? We need some eggs, right? Okay. Do you have all the information you need to solve this problem? Yeah. Yeah? Anyone need anything else that I haven't given you already? 12 eggs, 4 raws. Okay. Do you have the tools that you need? Cool. If you like, I have provided for you, Stream has provided for you, paper bags and different colored jelly beans. So you can use this. I've got a bunch of different colors, and you can use that to simulate probability, and then you can eat some because they're delicious. But you can use whatever you have at your tables as well. Okay, why don't you take the next?
Yeah.
Let's shoot for 10 minutes. Do some simulation. Try to make a decision. Have something to back it up. Okay? Using the skills that Terry just gave you. You might have already had. Using some sort of probability simulator. Where's the eggs? She's getting them. Who's somebody volunteered? I heard it.
I'll do it.
Ah, you will!
I'll do it, but I need like a bag or something to put over my, like, you know, there's things when you don't want a rain jacket and you want
Put a garbage bag.
a whole other bag.
Yeah.
A garbage sack.
Yeah. We were thinking about after 2 or 3 years, this might be. Yeah, now we're talking.
Jake was talking to them already.
You guys don't know I read it was.
We nominated him. He gets to be a part of it.
He gets to go first.
Yeah, he was talking smack to other people, so he nominated himself.
You want to go first?
That's right. All of it.
And then you can eat
Do you want to go first or do you want to go second? Doesn't matter. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, 2 rides. Oh, yeah. No, you have to, the first person to smash 2 eggs on their head. Raw Yeah, so you want then the other person does it. And you just go back and forth until somebody gets to 2 minutes.
So the first person that's done is the
Okay. Good. Great. We don't know. We paused the video right there. Doesn't matter. Is there advantage to going first? Is there advantage to going second? Or doesn't matter?
Alright, that's. What'd you guys get?
So we each have one.
Oh my, so what are you guys doing for your simulation? Doing cards, and so red ones are rock, or?
Yes.
Touch 2.
Oh!
He's feeling lucky. I wonder what the other one was. He picked touch 2.
Oh, because it stops with the first person.
No, the first 2 rocks.
Okay, I see. No, here it is.
So you're not using one rock.
Yeah, so we could.
This is, oh my gosh, this is it right here.
Oh, okay.
That was the deciding one, because if he would have got hard boiled,
Then I
then he
could've
would have
got a
lost
half
no
a
matter what.
No, I would have had one. Oh, yeah. You would have got the hard one.
So cool. That, I feel like that was still there.
Remind me when this session ends. Awesome, thank you.
This is your first drop.
Okay.
So are you guys working on the probability, or are you doing a simulation right now? Solid. You're trying to do the
So I'll write that down.
Yeah, we were like, we're not even.
Card draw. So that would be. Well, we just have to do the first person.
How would you like these up there?
And then you have to keep kind of treating them as well.
Basketball. Right. It's good to take a long time.
Yeah, it's really, it'll leave it to your partner. So that's what makes it a bit harder counting up, and then for you, it's there's a tree.
Sure hope you're gonna get it.
No.
That's what Jordan was saying. Tree and rubber. We still don't know how that's happening, how that would work out.
Green or raw?
So that's the question is, do you want to go first or do you want to go second or doesn't matter? So that's kind of the question is,
But is there an advantage?
will you win?
Going second?
So you're gonna go first this time.
Like she said, I just want to get it out of the way. Well, at least you would know, but is that an advantage?
Yeah, until one person loses. For this game, the first person to hit themselves 2 raw eggs loses.
Be the one so they want.
Because of 8, yeah, there's 8 of them.
Go first.
So that's why I'm just like saying, do you want to keep going probability route, or do you want to do simulation and kind of see what happens and observe? Because that's what everybody was doing that over there, and so they kind of were like, okay, you have to decide now. Are you going to keep number crunching, or are you going to?
Because you can just.
You could. They were spending all day doing it, and they still were like, I just don't know.
Well, you're getting it for Christmas. Do you want it in white or black? That's right.
Okay, so you're going after that. Okay,
That's awesome.
I know they were doing it to them like, go for it,
right. You know I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And I come up with the dollars. That way, you have better odds. They are pretty close to each
First one we got.
All right, how about 2 more minutes? For the sake of time.
Wow. Ron and six. Because we said 1 through 4 is right. Oh, okay.
Person like here.
That person too.
I feel like
So
On that one, four,
Four chance, 4 wax.
So then if we do it again,
Then the first person got hard work.
because it's that in one sentence, okay, hard work.
so that you could continue the.
Wow.
Well, for 2 of it, yeah, raw.
9.
Oh, that's the other
Keep going
person.
after that. Hard boiled.
So raw. Oh, shoot,
What do you think? So person 1 would have lost on that one.
All right, so let's take a moment to share. There's a lot of thoughts. Trust me, she's sure that it doesn't matter.
No, now I'm not sure.
No, she's not sure. Oh, God. All right. I'm pretty sure it does matter.
Now I'm ready.
Okay. So, I just want to take a quick, we're going to go once around the room. I want you to know what tool you used, whether it was some sort of simulation tool or whether you just were doing theoretical work, and what you have decided so far. You don't have to have a firm decision, but if you had to choose right now, would you go first, would you go second, or it doesn't matter? So let's start right here, we'll work our way back. You say go first, and what did you use? Use cards, okay. Go second. This group? Didn't matter, you did one of each.
But you're screwed before you get done with the work, because we got 9 both times.
Okay, and what'd you use?
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans, good.
I used a calculator and going second.
Going second was better.
We calculated some probabilities and it seemed like we came up pretty even. But I still think that going second is better.
Okay. We're good. Yes. Good. We're gonna come back to that.
I'm building Final Four brackets and I don't think we
Okay. Good. Hold on to that for a second. We're gonna put it on the camera.
Something similar. He did a Final Four bracket too.
Yeah. All right. And back table. So you.
It's
Theoretical.
actually, it's actually comes up pretty close to bracket light,
Okay.
but it would be just a little bit better if they go second.
Okay. Awesome. And
So, I don't know, we just did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trials. And the second person lost 3 of the 2 times. I mean, this is obviously not
3 out of 5 times.
3 out of 5 times.
okay.
Only if the person.
No. So first of all,
That's why I'm saying go first.
what do you want? What do you want to be able to?
I think that the first person ends up going like, he has more times of being up to bat. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So.
I think you're onto something.
All right. So.
Yeah.
First of all, we know as statisticians, as Terry was showing us.
Because if you're up to bat, like, you finish the round, it's like, okay, and like,
Right, so that
Good.
usually-
So.
yeah, you want to second.
Yeah.
Simulation, statistics, we need a lot of data, right? We can do it 2, 3, 5 times. We can have some anecdotal data. We can have an idea. Does it, do a lot more to make a good decision? Probably. But, let's say it was half and half. Do you want to go first or second?
Second.
Second. Why? Because the first guy's got more bats, right?
Yeah.
Because he starts every round.
Right.
If it went 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, it changed the problem, right?
Yeah.
But as far as I can tell, and we've been working on this, it's about the same, right? It's a 1/3 chance of hitting yourself with an egg. If we get started at the very beginning, there's a 1/3 chance that any one of those eggs is wrong. And so there's a 1/3 chance before anyone does anything that you're going to hit yourself with a raw egg with any one of those eggs. Now, as soon as the first person goes, it collapses that field, right? And so if you're doing your tree diagram, you just ignore one half of your tree diagram because it has changed. But to begin with, yeah. And so simulation, again, I think you eventually figured out, but does it matter? No. Is there advantage? Yeah. You want to go second because that's one less at-bat you have to take. That's fun. It's like that game where
What is that?
I'm going to punch you in the face as hard as I can, and then you can punch me in the face as hard as you can, and the first one who hits is the loser. I'm going to go first. And then I'm going to quit. Yeah. So, absolutely. Okay, now, this is a really rich text. So, there's all sorts of questions you can ask. Can you apply this to different stats classrooms? Can you apply it to basic probability? Yeah, there's a 1/3 chance the first person gets a raw egg. What's the probability that you get 2 raw eggs in a row? Okay, now we're talking about drawing without replacement. And so you can go, okay, well, the first one is a 1/3 and the second one is a 3/11. And you can do this. And so there's lots of these great questions. And it's like if you ever went to one of Matt Roscoe's math circles, math teacher circles, where you go and you just play and you ask a bunch of questions. Okay, now let's answer them. And go. And again, there's kids that can answer. You should have kids in your room that can answer, well, why would you do that? There's a ton of our kids who would love to do this, by the way. Yeah. You probably shouldn't, but it doesn't matter because that's a big question, right? 2 raw eggs in a row, that's a smaller question. But there's accessibility all over the place. And kids are doing math, and it's really neat. So, we shared. For now, we'll just move on. If we have more time, we can tackle more of these questions, but we'll save it for now. And we're going to share some more. Really rich in practice. I mean, there's also using appropriate tools, and it's just kids like this. And they don't even know they're doing math for part of it. And that's really neat too for those kids who just can't quite reach sometimes. Do we model up mathematics? Yeah, probably. Do we use appropriate tools? Yeah. I mean, really, there's all sorts of tools we can use here. Do we look for structure? Yeah. Do we reason? Yeah. Do we? It's just all over the place. So, and of course, there's statistics, standard set of nails as well. But you all want to see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the downside. There's a lot of that.
Did you know T-Mobile's LTE cover?
Hey, has somebody seen it already? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So apparently Jimmy does this a decent amount.
Usually Jimmy plays.
Does he?
This is the first time he has.
The question is, does Jimmy go second?
Big man.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Big Johnson right here. They are about to face off in a game of egg. Once you go first, choose your first egg. Oh my goodness. Sure? How's it feel? Are you confident?
I dreamed growing up that I would maybe have a chance to play Magic one-on-one someday.
This is it. This dreams come true. Good to see you, buddy.
Right off the bat.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Well, that's all the time we have. No. He can't go back to the NFL. They're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill him now. All right. Oh man, I can't believe it.
I bet they're all wrong.
Feeling confident? Feeling confident?
I'm feeling, I don't know.
What is going on? This has never happened. This has never happened. In the This is you right now. Oh my God.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Thanks for coming here. The next raw egg.
Oh my goodness.
Loses. Choose your egg wisely. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
No, are you feeling good?
Wonderful.
I don't know. Winner. You're our champion. You are champion.
Please,
Please let it be yours.
Oh my gosh. Not looking good for you, man.
You let me down, bro.
Not looking good, man.
Oh my, okay, abracadabra. Yeah, let's go to the end. Let's go to the end.
Okay, here you go. That's a luck.
Oh.
Get so confident now. Ooh, I'm not in your favor. Choose wisely.
I know.
There you have it. Magic Johnson is the egg. Magic Johnson.
Okay, so now we're gonna switch gears and talk about something closer to home in Montana. So what I want you to do first, before we get into the math, is in your tables, I want you to be getting out your devices. So you're gonna need Wi-Fi access of some sort. And I already talked to that table. I need 1 or 2 people to join the table up front because you guys are gonna have a task that I want you to complete. So I need at least 4 in a group. And share your Old Faithful Yellowstone experiences. I'm going to give you just a couple minutes of this kind of unstructured talk time, and then we're going to get started. So I'm giving you about 4 minutes.
To share our own.
Yeah, to share your experiences. Talk about Old Faithful. How long did you have to wait to see it? Or how big was the blast?
How does it smell? You see any bison walk out?
Last time we were there, Old Faithful wasn't quite ready, so we went up together with the benefits to get ready. We were leaving Old Faithful, we looked back and something was going on. And before we got there, when we were headed to the so we sort of walked around and it wasn't big yet.
But it was really good conversation. It was a YouTube video, and I was like, oh my gosh, here's an awesome. So cool. Have you seen those spinning watermelons?
Probably no boardwalk and Buffalo are hanging out.
And we did have enough to do points, but it was a great
We travel all the way up. We literally spent the rest of our 5 days in the park.
This is the,
all 4 of us.
has all of us been to
My wife,
yes.
finally the last day went up and explored man herself. I was it now. Got around the whole thing. Literally never got on. Actually went to garden and get some supper.
It's not as
Yeah, that was actually because we're moving on in Redwood.
yeah, there's not
Probably a linear relationship. Okay, I'll give you about 1 more minute to talk about your experiences, and then we're going to tell you your tasks.
Yeah, we literally. It's like, yeah, it's like sitting at night for 5 nights and barking.
Not only we travel like
Expensive, yeah.
well, the thing that was really cool, so I have gone with that college part, so it's advanced placement environmental science class. And we take the kids into Yellowstone. We don't go into Old Faithful, but we snow shoot into the geyser basin area. So we go back into this geyser. And that one is very dependable. But the thing that's gotten really interesting with that is that over the years, like, since I've gone into class as a female chaperone, when we went up the last couple of times, the water level is at farther, so we used to be able to tell the kids, okay, well, lean over and see how deep it is, and then they would do that and not. But now, it's farther out, so you can't have them put in anymore, so. But that one is another one that the guidance on has been a very good one.
Okay,
so they can keep the kids.
what I would like you to do as you finish up your conversations is to number off 1 through 5, and we are going to have one group of 4, so you guys are going to be a little bit modified, which is okay. But in your group, count off 1 through 5, and then this is what we're going to do. Person 1, you have a URL that you need to type in, and you'll go to an article. Okay, and then persons 2 and 3, you're going to share an article. Person 2, you're going to have page 1. Person 3, you're going to have page 2 of that article. If you only have 4 people in a group, person 2 gets that whole thing. Okay? And then your person 3 would be everybody else's person 4. Okay? So then person 4 has this one, person 5 has this one. Or if you're a group of 4, that's person 4. So go ahead and type that into the bar up at the top.
Which one?
Whichever number you are.
Well, did we number yet?
In your groups, number off 1 through 5.
4.
Okay, so once you've gone to that, now this is where we're going to give you some structure.
That is the burning question.
Okay, lots of people need quiet to be able to read, and I'm going to make you read even though it's math, because we do that in math. We read and we write. What? So please go to that URL. If you're having any trouble, please get your hand up and we'll help you get there in just a minute. So I'm going to give you probably about 7 minutes. I'm going to put 7 minutes on the clock. I would like you to read your article, and I would like you to write a little summary of the key points because your article is going to be different than the other people in the group. And you're going to have to give them a summary of what's going on. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions? All right, I will come see you, but from this point forward, I need it quiet, please. your classroom is going to disrupt that cycle. Okay, so just some things to talk about maybe as we're working on now the math part. So we're going to get into a little bit of a question for you to solve. Okay, so we started by talking about Old Faithful or Yellowstone, and now we're going to come back to Old Faithful. And if you and your family, or you and your friends, or maybe just you drove into the parking lot and Old Faithful had just erupted, we want to know how long could you expect to wait? Kind of like how many children is it going to take to have a girl? Kind of that idea. 4 to 5 minutes? Any other ideas? 32 minutes? It varies. 30 and 50, you think? Okay. So your job is going to be to justify your answer and to provide some sort of visual for us if we have time. Last group didn't quite have time to get into the visual part, so I'm hoping we do. We'll see if we do. They're already good. So now, this is your data, and it's also in the middle of your table. Okay? So this is roughly representative of about 2 weeks of continuous eruptions. So roughly 1 row is equal to about 1 day. Since it's talking about the waiting period in between, it can't be like on the hour every hour. You guys don't have any?
I thought we.
They should be upside down.
We're upside down.
Upside down?
I saw you put them there.
Not
I don't know where they are now.
Not random number generators.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, good.
So, obviously this data set is so big that I don't expect one person to conquer all of it. So within your group, since you are in groups and it's a group task, I would like you to use each other, decide how you're going to analyze this data and how you're going to be able to come up with an idea of how long you could expect to wait based off of this. Yes, so each row is representative of about a 24-hour period.
Okay, so these are the average.
Just join a team where we're
So I'm going to give you about 10 minutes, by the way, for this, and then make a group poster.
So do you guys want to take a column and find the everyday eruption?
We are.
Alright, buddies, you're going to have to make a poster too, so here's your poster. And you only have 10 minutes.
Recording this.
I know. 10 minutes. I know. It's going to be rough. That's okay. Rough estimate.
If you enter this one in the spreadsheet in the Excel.
So who's doing, have you guys already started? You guys already started?
Idea? On the poster.
Can you with your phone? I'm just going to take you just to see. Yeah, I thought I would just add them all up and divide it by Yeah, I'm doing 16.
I'll go in this one. Yeah, but he's gonna just in case, yeah, because he brought it already done.
So I'll take the.
Sucks back up with everybody can't read stats very well.
I don't know what I'm doing. So first, I don't know what I'm doing. I like Excel, I don't know sheets very well yet. I use sheets all the time. Do that? Somebody was using it in the last one. How did you get
Insert equation.
Huh?
Insert equation.
Oh, like a right click thing?
No, there's an insert button.
I didn't see that he had one. So right now we're just basically doing.
The math period part, he just smiles when you're. I'm with my people.
No, the thing that I'm curious about is the min max, because I've got they're all in access.
Maybe that's what they're just all repeating decimals. So they're all, it's all divided by 18
Yeah.
That's for those.
So it's kind of like,
You had extreme
there's like a
maybe?
60.
Yeah. So now we calculate that one again.
It's going to make an educated guess as far as figuring out what.
With all of them?
So say we all, we do horizontal line, we get all.
So they would open the doors, but according to us.
We find all the averages this way and average all those together. The same value as if we averaged everything this way. If we did the average of these numbers together, these numbers.
Oh my gosh.
No, because,
There's the vision.
You're gonna get
Vision
different
multiplication.
values, but if you didn't count the average across. L1 is the averages.
As opposed to, but then if we did the averages of these things, the number also down. And then we found the averages of those.
Yeah, I think that would.
83. They
So
should.
then my question would be, if we have time, how would you do visual then? Yeah.
60.
So like a graphical representation of your data overall, could you do that? Using your mean? Well,
The last, what was the last?
But my question is just, so if we each were working across this way, and I thought, we can add these numbers up, and then you match these X. Just like we started out with this column, have an average for each one of these, and then average those.
I think it's A, B, it's all addition. Just parenthesis, okay,
But it's, this is a 1, you divide it by 16, colon, divided by.
And then, so you have, you have like all the extensions, which are, you have all the.
I would think it would be because if you're adding all of this up and dividing by, you're doing about 18.
This way, and then we'll divide by 16 this way.
Because then you're finding the average of the averages, so you're taking care of the going downwards. So I feel like if you went this way first and then over those, mathematically should be this added together and back. But then overall, you're still adding all of the numbers together and finding their average and just doing it in two different ways.
Yeah,
But my only challenge is to think about the visual representation as well. So could you graph all of your means? Could you graph your means and box those? That'd be cool. I like that. So you can find the median of your length. I like to go far.
well, like this where you don't just when you get down here, like I said, that's.
We So 70. This is the sample. So you get a sample. So you get a sample mean of the sample rooms. So they're using, you can use the central limit theorem. This is statistic. So this one should be the bell curve. This one should be the bell curve.
Yes.
All right, so now what are you guys gonna do after this? So then I challenge your groups to start thinking about your visual /
That one
graphic
is, you get all of the mean, you get the first mean, second,
show your
third one,
data
and so on.
that way.
Total is 16 means. If you take an average, this one is this one is the expected value. This is an unbiased estimate of the population. And 16 means that if the sample size is large enough,
Something like that, where you just have those values on each line and you're stacking up kind of
So this one will be what we look at. If you have larger on the list, then it will be more closer.
That'd be a good idea. So, it would be good.
But we're talking about what?
I'm from here. Yes, I think so. I went here in October.
All right, I gotta see where we're at, because I don't want you to stay here all day. All right, you got about a minute and a half to commit to some sort of rough estimate. So in about a minute and a half, you should be making sure that you're getting that visual representation and your estimate up on your poster paper. So you got about another minute left to work.
So now we just do 3 on 1. Then you can, if you want to work.
69.2.
Well, see, round 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You get this one is the, just like this is the first row, second,
For the, like if I did
okay, just do it random. This is the smallest one. So 69.
Yeah, that would be good, because then the bars would be
All right, what are you doing here?
69.
Okay, so
69.227 above, and then you get the next one is 72.
So do you have an idea of your, what you
And
your
next one is
estimate?
72. But this one is a little bit level.
Okay, you have about 20 seconds, and I'd like you to spend just a couple minutes to get your stuff up on the poster. We're gonna share. So, we gotta go.
Oh, I did it.
Okay, you got about 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna quick go around to each group and you share what you came up with.
Did you find the average?
Yeah, we,
Yes.
What was our average?